Hello and welcome to this video. So when we created the settings.json, we created a list of objects inside there. And between that video and this one, I've realized that actually it might be a little better for us to change that a little bit and actually make an object with some keys, and each of those keys then give us the particular object that was in the list. And that's so it allows the bot to find the relevant settings a little bit easier and not have to loop through the list. So you'll find this obviously on GitHub, or you can just pause the video and copy this in. It's not very much of a change, but we have an object here, and then we have just a key with each of the pairs that gives us then the particular settings for the trading. And then inside settings.py, I've also made some changes to the settings class. So scrolling down the screen just a little bit, one of the changes is here. So where we're loading in the settings, remember we're no longer loading in a list, it's now an object with keys. And we want to return essentially an internal Python object or dictionary that represents what's here, so a key and then the value being the object. And that means that we use some dictionary comprehension here to do this. We've done dictionary comprehension before in one of the videos I can remember, so you should know what this is. But essentially we loop through each of the items inside the object which is loaded from the settings.json, and we create a new object with a key and then the particular settings class instance that's been made for the data that was loaded. Then the get pairs has also been changed a little bit. We're just returning a list of the keys from the settings that we've actually loaded. So then down in the if name equals main, we're just going to print then the key and the value for each of the keys and values inside our settings, and then print the list of pairs as well. So I want to flick to the console and just quickly test that. I just zoom things in a little bit, hit enter. And you can see now that we're printing then the key and the value. So for each of the pairs that we want to trade, we'll get the various trade settings, and then we can also access our list of pairs. So now that we've got the settings sorted, you'll notice that I've got a new file called bot.py inside our project folder, and we're going to start building out our bot. The first thing I'd like to do at the top is import something called pprint. So pprint is a library that comes with Python. When you install Python, it just allows us to print dictionaries and objects and things a little bit nicer format than just everything on one line, and that's something that we'll use inside the log. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to import the settings from our settings, and we're going to import the log wrapper also from the log wrapper file that we created so that we can make ourselves a log for our bot. And now with the drum roll, we can actually create the class itself for the trading bot. So we're going to make the trading bot class, and then we have some initialization that we need to do inside here. The first thing we're going to do is create ourselves a log. So I'm going to type self.log is equal to log wrapper, and we'll call it trading bot. The next thing we want to do is set up some trade pairs. So we'll say self.tradepairs is equal to settings.getPairs. And I also want the settings as well. So we'll say self.settings is equal to settings.loadSettings. The next thing I'd like to do is inside the initialization is actually log something to our log to say that the bot has started. Now normally we would do this by typing self.log.logger and then say debug or something like this. But it's a bit of a pain to always have to retype all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to write ourselves a little function, and we'll call it log message. And what this function does is simply take in a string, and then we'll log this string to our log. So we'll type self.log.logger.debug and then message. So up here then what I'd like to do is just log to the log the settings that we've loaded when the bot has first started. So we'll type self.logMessage and then a formatted string, and bot started with, and then pprint.pformat self.settings. Now the only other thing I want to do inside here is actually put a new line after the with so that things are formatted slightly better. So that \n is just simply saying make a new line inside this string. Okay, so we have the basics of the trading bot class defined, so we can now make an if name equals main and then just create an instance of our trading bot. And what that should do is create a trading bot log and then log the settings that have been loaded. So just flicking into the console then, if I run python bot.py, nothing happens because we're not doing anything, but what should have happened is that we created a trading bot and that then created our log and wrote the settings. So let's have a look. There's the trading bot.log, and we can see that we've got bot started with, and then we've got the settings that we've loaded. So every time our bot starts up, we can have a look back in the log at exactly what kind of settings it was loading when it started trading. Okay, good. So we've made a start with the trading bot, and we'll carry on with it in the next video. So thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next one.